Yo, I'm in the house now for sure. Y'all ready to do this? Cause I'm ready to do this. Hey. Shout out to my brother Can't Go the Kid. What's up, broski? Saw your video earlier, man. It's all good. Wizard behind the curtain. There it is. What it do, people? Man, I'm telling y'all. Let me tell y'all something, man. I really like doing what I do. Y'all don't know how much I like doing this. This is like my shit. This is like what I like to do. I'm telling you. This is such an honor and a privilege. I love being here with y'all. Shout out to my man Chris Thorns, Princess X, CJ Gunn, my man Skohar. Shout out to G Friend, CJ Gunn, and Princess X representing on the United Guns of America channel. My faithful few over there. I appreciate y'all. But I just want to say, man, this is such a honor and a privilege. Jeffrey Manor in the house, boy, home of some wild niggas over there. Sean Mix, man, boy, I'm telling you. Hey, man, I've only been to the Manor a handful of times. I remember when we was coaching baseball, and, you know, we were dropping kids off or whatever, and we'd be like, man, where you stay? Kid be like, I stay on such and such. We'd be like, that's Jeffrey Manor, ain't he? Be like, uh-huh. Be like, damn, gotta get the guns. Gotta get the guns. Like, look, kid, now I'm gonna take you home, but I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna come to a slow roll, and then you get your ass. No, that's what I did. We didn't do that. We didn't come to a rolling stop. We didn't do that. We let the kid get out safely and all that kind of stuff. But man, shout out to the Manor though, boy. I tell you, part of the reason why they help with the name of Chirac, I can definitely say that. they have played their part and they have put in their work to the coin term of Chirac. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, it did, girl. Yes, it did. All right. So first and foremost, in the chat, I want to give a shout out to my man who back at the top of the charts again. My man Skohar. And my brother Edmund Dace, what up with it? Big Solid was good. Linda Soto. Let's see who else in there. I already shouted out them. Katrina Hamilton was up. And let's scroll on down. I shout out my boy Chris Thorns. Miss Bells, what's happening? My brother Kango Kid, yeah, man. And Coach Aldis, what's happening? Go Pack Go. You know you ain't right. Don't you come in my chat starting no Green Bay fudge pack of bullshit. Now you know, goddamn, man, I swear, I cannot. Let me tell y'all something. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. I'm Chi-Town, stay down till I die. Bears, Bulls, Sox, Cubs. I'm all for the Chicago team, Black Hawks. And with that being said, I truly have just a definitive, just born and just over the years have just festering hatred for all the Midwest teams. I don't know why. I can't explain to you why. I just don't like none of the Midwest teams. If you any team in Cleveland, I don't like the Browns. I don't like the Bengals. I don't like the Pacers. I don't like the Colts. I don't like no Midwest team. Minnesota. I don't like the Vikings. I don't like the Twins. I don't like nobody. I don't like the Packers. I just don't. The Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks ain't did nothing to me. The Milwaukee Brewers ain't done nothing to me. I just don't like them. I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah, you 11-3, but I tell you what. I tell you one thing, you can't beat them Saints and y'all can't beat them Niners. So enjoy your great season, but your playoffs, you can forget it. Y'all gonna fall like you've been falling all these other years. Got the one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and only won one championship with his ass. Y'all shouldn't have never got rid of Brett Favre. So take your little 11-3 season and shove it. Now, I've said that my piece. Now I can move forward. But I'm telling y'all, man, I was like Detroit. Oh my God. When I lived in Michigan for 7.5 years, man, them Lions, boy, I can't stand them. I talk trash to them. The people would hate to see me coming at the job because they know, like, especially when them Lions lose. Oh man, I was giving them the business. But I don't like the Lions. I don't like the Pistons. I don't like the Tigers. I don't like the Red Wings. I don't like none of them. And like I said, I don't know why. I'm just telling you, I don't like them. But that being neither here nor there, let's move on and let's hear a word from my side chick, my good thing, my show enough forever girl. Talk to me, baby.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Look, let me tell y'all something. This here drink I got, I'm telling you, ain't nothing like having a good old drink while you're streaming, you're relaxing, you're talking, you're vibing. You got the red wine, the heart pumping, 1 and 1 is 2. Powerful erection. Powerful erection. But let's move on to the good part. When we gonna get to the good part? Get on to the good part. Good part. When we gonna get to the good part? When we gonna get to it? All right, now, for those of you who don't know or didn't know, earlier this year, I think it was around maybe April or May. Yeah, it's about around April or May. Bun B, that's right, the rapper from bow 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 bow, ooh doo 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 bow 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 bow, doo 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 bow 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 bow. Y'all know Bun B, Pimp C, and man, Pimp C dead too. Rest in peace to Pimp C. Yes, indeed. Rest in peace, Pimp C. Gone off that. Didn't he die from drinking too much lean? I think he did die from drinking. It was too much lean. He dead, though. I know he dead. But shout out to Pimp C. But anyway, Bun B and Pimp C had a legendary group called UGK, which stands for Underground Kings. That's exactly what it stood for. They done came out with a lot. I'm talking about when you talk about underground rap, when you talking about gangster rap, you cannot not acknowledge the Underground Kings. UGK, they helped and was one of the founding Southern rap, gangster rap founding members. They helped put the South on the map. Yeah, Pimp C died, and actually, Princess, I want to say, Bun B, Pimp C been dead for at least 5-6 years. I'm almost tempted to say that. It's been a while. Yep. What's up, HP Green Team? Signing in from Boston. That's what's up. Shout out to them Boston baked beans over there. Yeah. What's up, Sarah? Lorenzo Davis, what up? Deep Lockett, what's happening? But yeah, I think Pimp C been dead a good at least 4-5 years, I want to say. But anyway, Bun B, who's still alive, living in Houston. Shout out to Houston, old H-Town. Yep, H-Town, stay down. He was involved in a home invasion, him and his wife. And this was when I first heard the story, I was like, wow. And it's just like with all of the gun stuff that's going on now, they're trying to take our guns. Matter of fact, where is mine? Well, there go one of my guns, and there go the other one. Oh, there's my other one there. Okay. All you gotta do gun check, make sure you know where your guns is at. But he was involved in a home invasion shooting. He shot the guy, broke into his house. What he didn't get, he forced his way into his house. He definitely, it was a true fashion home invasion. His wife came to the door thinking that they were receiving like a Amazon or UPS package or whatever the case may be, and not realizing and didn't really like check out the person, but just so used to getting packages. Like I definitely can attest to that. When you just used to getting packages, it's like you open the door and man, dude came in, pistol to the head, like, hey, yep, 2007. There we go. Man, it's been a minute. Yeah, it's 10 years, 11, 12 years. Yeah. But came in and there's a home invasion. So he got his wife at gunpoint. Pimp C, I think, is upstairs taking a deuce, or as we say, dropping a deuce. Um, and then he hears the commotion. His wife, who did a hell of a job dealing with this home invader, she did a hell of a job. And Pimp C had enough time, and she bought him that time to get his gun and to actually engage this person. And they exchanged gunfire. Dude got shot. Dude hit him. Pimp Bun B hit him. He ran, went to the hospital because he just couldn't take the pain of the bullet wound and got locked up. So I want to just go over this story. And I thought that, I know some people probably heard of this already, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to just critique the instance, the whole entire instance as to how it happened, give my points, and just critique what happened and how they reacted in that situation, the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. So that's what I wanted to do. So without further ado, make sure y'all click that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to United Guns of America channel if you have not. And if you are over on the United Guns of America channel, make sure you subscribe to the Relationship Rehab channel if you have not. But without further ado, as Big Mama said, let's do this.
Right.
But she never answers the door.
But I never answer
Only
the door.
I answer the door. Mm-hmm. Like for a while, we stopped getting UPS because I pulled the gun on so many UPS people. They started leaving them at the garage because I don't have any company in my house. I'm never expecting company.
As his lawyer, he never pointed the gun at anyone.
But I would always answer the door with the pistol, just so people know. You know what I'm saying? But and I never allow her to answer the door. You know what I'm saying? I always want to be the person that has to confront whatever threat comes to my house. That's why I'm really for me, the thing that drives me crazy is the fact that I spent my whole life, and she knows this, my whole life is built around addressing the threat. I believe in positive energy and good vibes and karma and all of that. But again, this was random. So this wasn't something that was coming directly for me.
Correct.
So you still have to be prepared for whatever may happen. And every day, I always say, I'm, mentally, I'm like, I'm ready. Whatever happens, I'm prepared to do what I got to do to protect my family. But unfortunately, I wasn't the one that had to confront him in the moment. She was.
Right.
So let me first stop and address that. What he's talking about is what we call in the law enforcement or gun world as having a tactical mindset, and also being what I love this term so much. He is a sheepdog. Okay. And what a lot of people don't know about that term sheepdog, it's literally like what a sheepdog is. Now, a lot of people may not know if you're not used to the farm life, or if you've never known someone or to have owned a herd of sheep. But pretty much what the sheepdog does, the sheepdog protects the sheep. That's the sheepdog's job. So you have your shepherd, which is leading the sheep to wherever his flock of sheep are going. And then you have about maybe 2 to 3 sheepdogs. And what these dogs do, they help keep the sheep together and they protect the sheep. That means they address any threats that come to the flock, whether it's a bear, whether it's a fox, whether it's a lion, a tiger, whatever it is. Sheepdogs are there to protect the flock. And any threat that is posed to the sheep or the shepherd, those sheepdog dive on it, essentially. That's pretty much what a sheepdog does. So, and a lot of times in just law enforcement and just being in the whole pro 2A, pro Second Amendment, that's what pro 2A. When you hear me say pro 2A, that's what pro Second Amendment. That's what I'm saying. But just those people that are gun enthusiasts or that are sheepdogs, we have that tactical mentality or that tactical mindset where we're always thinking the what if game. So a lot of times when I'm out, I can attest to this. This is just because of how I've been trained. This is just because of the environment that I grew up in, and just having the exposure to law enforcement that I had and being in law enforcement. You always have to think, what if, right? What if this happens? What if that happens? But that's just that there's a part of that that's a little bit of paranoia, but then when you turn into the other side of it to where you're thinking about being ready, it's not just what if, it's what if, and then what am I going to do? Okay. So, like for instance, I'm at Walmart and I'm walking through Walmart, right? I'm going to think, just because, what if somebody starts shooting in here? That's just that thought. Now, some people can have that thought and be scared. Some people can have that thought and be, and just can't get past it and just keep thinking, yeah, what if that happened? What if they did that? What if somebody came here? And now you looking around thinking somebody going, but a sheepdog is going to think, hey, what if somebody starts shooting in a Walmart, or in this Walmart that I'm in? And then the other part to that is going to be, what am I going to do? And that's where your training comes in. That's where your muscle memory and all that stuff kicks in, because you've trained your mind to do that. That's what will happen. And one of the main reasons why you do this, one of the main reasons why you train, and one of the main reasons why you do have a tactical mindset and you have that sheepdog mentality, is because what happens when somebody is put in a highly stressed situation, or somebody is confronted in a very dangerous situation, you do one of two things. You either have a deer in the headlights look and you do nothing, or you immediately go into action and your muscle memory takes over and you begin to do those things that you've trained to do. So it's just like people talk about all the time, because I talk to people quite often about, going to the gun range, shooting, and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I always talk about is saying, hey, you need to go to the gun range. To any and everybody that owns a firearm, any and everybody that's thinking about purchasing a firearm, I don't care if you have a 22 or if you have a Desert Eagle, you need to go to the gun range on a consistent basis. And the main reasons why you need to go to that gun range, and I don't care if you just go once a week, twice a month, as much as you possibly can and you can afford, go to the gun range, even if it's just to shoot a box of 50. You don't have to go and shoot 400 rounds in a day. You don't have to go and shoot 1,000 rounds. You ain't got to go do that. Even if you go once a week just to shoot a box of 50. The reason why you want to do that is because it creates muscle memory with how you shoot. Because a lot of times people talk about, oh, I go to the range all the time and I go do this and I go do that. But if you're going and you have bad habits, the only way you're going to break them is by training. If you go and you're doing something wrong, hopefully you can get with somebody, or you can train with somebody that actually knows what the hell they're doing, and they can help you sharpen your skills and break those bad habits. One of the best things I love about training somebody how to shoot is somebody who has never done it before. Why? Because they have no bad habits. So when I'm teaching them, it's new to them and it's fresh, but what I'm exposing them to is a way to where they can learn and they can train to where they don't develop bad habits. Okay, so that's one of the biggest things about that. Having that mentality and knowing what you're going to do, and how you're going to do it. And if that don't work, then what you're going to do next. And if that don't work, what you're going to do next. That's how you stay ready mentally. That's how you stay prepared. All right. That's how you can be ready for whatever happens.
And I'm like so proud of her for, not only how she handled herself. Her only thought was to protect me.
She thought
because in the moment, her assumption is that this person has come to get me. Right. She doesn't know it's a random act at the time. So she thinks this person has come to kill me. So she's like, I need to hold this person here until Bun can get to the gun. And even if he kills me, I know Bun's going to kill him. But usually the two people that would die in this situation would be me and her.
Right.
So her thing was just like, I'll take that loss, but I know Bun will avenge me and kill this dude.
Right.
That's what she's thinking.
Man, God bless.
Now, when I saw this, I was like, wow. And one of the reasons why I was like, wow, and I was just talking to my brother Easy about this today. I don't know if Eric is in the chat or not, or if he's watching, but we was just talking about this today. One of the things that is very rare, and this is when we were talking about a few days ago when I sent Tommy that message or that post about Barack Obama saying that women are the best leaders and women make better leaders and women are smarter and all of that kind of stuff. One of the things about leadership is sacrifice. It's one of the things that a leader does, and one of the main qualifying factors, or one of the main qualities a leader should have is they should practice pretty much what they preach by saying this. And this is something that I learned just in leadership classes and trainings and things like that. You never ask somebody to do something that you yourself aren't willing to do, and something that you yourself haven't done. So if you're a general manager at a Walmart, and you have people there that need to stock pop or soda or something like that, having people do those type of things and asking people to do those type of things, yes, you have the authority to do it. But when you're talking about teamwork and working together, nobody's above anything, essentially. And even though you have titles, and even though you have certain positions that people are in, you have to be in a situation where you can say, as a leader, I'm asking you to do this, even though it may be a job nobody wants to do. Like my brother Easy at his job, he's in charge, and he got people that hate to clean out the drains in the meat department that got the meat in it, because they don't want to clean out the drain, get that meat out them drains. But the thing is that Easy has done it before, but it's not his job to do. So he don't have a problem asking and making sure that other people not only do it, but they do it correctly. And that's the thing with this. It's like, that's a sign of a leader. And I'm saying that to say this. It's very rare that you see or hear a story about a woman sacrificing herself, not necessarily for her kid, but for her husband, for her man. It's usually the other way around. Most of the time, women will bow down, kowtow, give in, give up, surrender to the greater threat or the greater force, because it's in a woman's nature, especially in the Western world. It's in a woman's nature. Well, pretty much in the world, it's in a woman's nature to survive. And pretty much what that means is anything that it takes to survive, I will do. It's just like how you hear women tell stories about being physically assaulted or being sexually assaulted. You'll hear those stories, and you'll hear those women say, well, at this point, I closed my eyes and just waited for it to be over. I didn't fight them off because I didn't want them to kill me. I didn't think that I would live, and I thought I would die if I did this, or if I said no, or if I screamed, or if I yelled, so that's why I didn't. I got in the car because I didn't want him to kill me right then and there, even though he killed me in the forest 45 minutes later. But I'm just saying, that's usually their mentality. Do whatever it takes to survive. And you can take that all the way back to slavery. What would the black female slave do when the slave master would come a knocking at the door, or tell her to come up to his room or whatever? She would give in. She would comply. She would go ahead with it because she wanted to survive. What would during the Crusades, during the wars of just ancient times, what happened with the women of the side that lost? They became the bed wenches, they became the whores, they became whatever the winning team wanted them to be, they would do it. So they would be raped, they would be pillaged, they would comply, do whatever they wanted to, whatever they needed to do to survive. So it's been a part of a woman's nature for years, generations, eons, to where they would do that. In this instance, her thought was, if for her to think like that, to say, well, I want to protect my man because I know he can avenge me. If this dude kill me, then I know Bun gonna kill him, and we gonna be at the gates together arguing with Jesus. Talking about, look, he shouldn't have never came. He came to the house. He better not come up in here. Y'all got to send him to hell now. I ain't gonna be dealing with that. So that's just the mentality, and I was really shocked to hear that. A lot of times you will not hear women say that. You just won't. So the fact that she did, kudos to her. I salute her. Because at the end of the day, it's like when you think of just like what that situation does, if she doesn't, try to hold him off or try to give Bun time, then what happens? She do kill Bun, do kill her. That's it. you're going to lose anyway. It's a lose-lose situation. So it's like you might as well give yourself the best chance of survival by putting yourself in harm's way so that Bun can have a chance to save you.
Bless black women, man.
Yeah,
Lord have mercy. Round of applause to black women.
People think I'm the hero in this situation.
No, she's the hero.
But she's the hero.
Yeah, she's the hero. That all salute to all black women. All black women don't do that shit. So I'm not clapping for that. I clap for Queenie, and I salute Queenie because she did that shit. But that ain't the mindset of all black women. That's just, I'm just not gonna let that lie be told. I let Charlamagne do that so he can get some more likes, he can get some more subscribes. But I'm not saying that because I've seen too many instances where black women have put brothers, men in harm's way like a motherfucker. And them motherfuckers done went to jail, they done got shot, done got killed, done got set up, all that shit. So that's not natural, and that is not, she is the exception to the rule. So I don't know why Charlamagne is trying to make it seem like that is the new rule, but that ain't. She's the exception to the rule. Believe that. So yeah, moving right along.
Because if she doesn't stall him out, if she doesn't stall him out, I don't get to the pistol.
So now you heard the commotion downstairs?
Yeah, and I'm in the bathroom, like, just to be honest, I'm on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? And so I hear what's going on, and I'm like, this is it. This is the moment I always talk about. Somebody's in my house right now threatening my wife. So I hop off the toilet, I run, I go get the pistol.
Did you wipe? No, I'm just kidding.
Shut up. This nigga said, did you wipe? But here is the bad in this. Bun shouldn't have had to go get his gun. And that's why I always say this. When I get up and I put my clothes on, my gun stays on until I go to bed and I take my gun off. Part 2 to that is, I have guns strategically placed in my house. The bathroom is a key place to have a pistol. It just is. Now you have to be careful about where that pistol is placed for two reasons. Accessibility and also being in the bathroom, because you're taking showers in there. There could be moisture, there could be water. You could possibly have rust. I know that because one of my guns got rusted being in the bathroom. I got it repaired and got it fixed, and it's all good, and it's so shiny right now, but I got it fixed. But you have to put it somewhere where you can get to it, especially when you're in a situation where you don't carry your gun with you. So it's like, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're getting up to go take a piss or whatever, going to use the bathroom, is that a possible time or moment where somebody could be breaking into your house or already in your house? Absolutely. You don't want to have to go and try to go find your gun, get your gun, and then go into action. Because in a situation where your life is on the line, what's the thing that I always say? Seconds matter, because that's going to determine if you win or lose a gunfight. Seconds matter. They matter. They matter. Seconds matter. Seconds matter. That's one of the reasons why I don't believe in having lock boxes for guns. You can have a gun safe, but as far as that whole mentality of, I keep my gun in my safe, in my closet, up on the top shelf, or in my shoebox, and that way my kid won't touch. What you need to do is get you a gun that is more kid safe, if you will, to where, and you need to teach your kid about gun safety. Just like you teach your kid not to touch a fucking hot stove, you teach your kid about how not to touch a gun. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You always do that. You always make sure that you have your gun in a place where it can be accessible. That, I keep my bullets out, then I keep my bullets in the box next to my gun box, which is in my shoe box, and then I just got to get my gun out, I put my bullets in, and then I'm ready to go. And that take a matter of seconds. Seconds matter in a gunfight. If you are in a situation where you have to pull out your gun, seconds matter. So when you're talking about going to get to it, going to having to load it, going to having to pull it out, unlock the box that it's in, all of that shit, it matters immensely. And it can determine if you or your loved ones live or die. That's why when people talk about, you got to have a gun that got this on it or got that on it, it's like, you can have whatever you want to have on it, but if you can't get to it, you in trouble, pimp. You are in trouble. So you have to make sure that your gun is in a place where you can access it, and you have to make sure to where you don't have to go through a lot to do so. Which is why I always say, if you in the kitchen cooking, if you up fixing breakfast in the morning, once you get out of bed and you put your clothes on, you need to have your gun on. Because if Bun B would have had his gun on him in this situation, he would have been in a much better situation to win, like he did. He won here because everybody's alive. He would have been in a better situation to win. Had that guy that was coming to his house had it been more deliberate and more intentional on hurting somebody or hurting her or whatever the case may be, that may not have been the case. And the minutes, and the seconds that it took for her to stall this dude for Bun to get to his gun could have meant her life. And his. So always have your gun in a place to where you can access it and have it in a place to where it's safe, but you want to be able to get to your gun. It's a tool. It's just like a flashlight that you have in your house when the power go out. You don't go and bury that in the very depths of your home, do you? No, you have it somewhere where it's accessible. It's in the kitchen. Or it's even by the circuit breaker or something. Somewhere where you can get to. I got a flashlight by my bed. If you have a gun and you have a flashlight mount on it, great. If you got a gun and you don't have a flashlight mount, get a good real flashlight, not no Walmart special. Get you a good small compact flashlight that works, that will shine and will shine bright. If you're in a situation where it's dark outside, if you're in a situation where it's dark, period, you want to hit a flashlight the way when you turn it on, it lights up the room. Plain and simple. That's what you want to be able to do. So,
man, God damn, can you be serious?
But and I just ran and got the pistol, and the whole time I'm forgetting. I'm not taking into consideration that I'm Winnie the Pooh right now. You know what I'm saying?
No pants on.
Winnie the Pooh with the pistol, and I get it, and when I get down, I get around. So we're in the 3-story place, and so I go up to the 3rd floor to get the gun. And when I come back down to the 2nd floor, I don't hear anything. So I go down the stairs. I cocked the gun just to make sure one was in the chamber, which it usually is, and there was. So that one bullet, ejected out of flew out the pistol. And I turned the corner. She's like, "Bun, don't go out there." And just to make sure one was in the chamber, which it usually is, and there was. So that one bullet, ejected out of
flew out.
Now, that is his second fuck up. I did a video about this, and you can see that on my gun channel. The whole mentality of to chamber round or to not to chamber round. First, let me explain what that is. So basically, when you're talking about your gun and you have your gun and you load it. So you take your gun. Some people do this. So right now, this gun is empty, right? Magazine is out, but the gun is empty, right? This is the chamber here, and there is no round chamber. There are some people who say to do this, to carry their gun without a bullet in the chamber. Now, I just put one in, but there are some people who believe in not doing that, and that would be carrying your gun like this. I just did that just by that's my habit. That's just like this. That's it. So right now, there is no round chamber. Let me see if I can press check a little bit. Yeah. So like now you see there's no round chamber, but the magazine is in the gun. People say there are some people that will tell you to carry your gun like this. I do not. I do not. Just for that reason right there. And the reason why he did what he did is because he's done it both ways before. People see in the movies how you pull your gun out, then you check. Like Ice Cube did in Boys in the Hood. Pulled his gun. Hey, we got a problem. Yo, we got a problem. Pulled his gun out. Shack. We got a problem. That's what he did. This mentality and this idea does just what he said he had to do. He had to check. Because in his mind, he's done it both ways and he did not know. He was not sure. Problem with that is, too, you can be in a situation where you don't have time to press check, where you don't have time to chamber around, where you need to pull your gun out and you need to go to work right then and there. There could be a situation to where you get shot. And now you're shot Your left hand, left shoulder, your right hand, right shoulder, you're shot in one of your extremities. Now you don't have both hands to work your firearm. So now what? So I come around the corner out the bathroom, not knowing what's happening because I got my beats in my ear and I don't hear nothing. And I see a dude, I'm like, oh shit, pow, I take a shot. I pull my gun, which I can do. I'm able to do that still physically. I pull my gun out. I got an empty chamber. Now what do I have to do? I got to try to rack one. Meanwhile, dude could be placing a second or third shot on me. I get shot in this arm. Now I can't, and it hit a nerve. I'm immobilized. I can't move this arm. Now I got to try to pull my gun out of this because I can't use this arm now. So I got to try to pull my gun out. I pull my gun out. Now what? I still have to chamber around. It's too much time. Time is your enemy in a gunfight. Ain't no time out. Hold time out, Mr. Robert. You hold on right here. I'm gonna go get my gun. I see you got your gun, and then we gonna go and settle this. You can't do that. That's why I say you don't ever go with a round unchambered. You keep a chambered gun. Keep a round in the chamber because you want to be ready. So that whole mentality, that whole idea of saying, well, nah, it's safer this way because if you accidentally pull the trigger, if I accidentally pull the trigger, that's because I put my finger on it. That's why one of your rules in gun safety is never put your finger on the trigger until you are ready to fire the gun. I see people taking pictures like this all the time, and I shake my head and I cringe. When you hand somebody a loaded gun, unloaded gun, that's one of the things I look for. If I hand you a gun and you do this, I'm like, he don't know what the fuck he doing. She don't know what the hell she doing. First thing in my mind, that's my first thought. I'm gonna say, nope, she don't know what the hell she doing. Nope, he don't know what the fuck he doing. Watching too much TV. Somebody hands you a gun, the first thing your finger does is this. You are not well trained in gun safety, sir. You're just not. And that is a huge problem. That's how a lot of accidental discharges take place. People naturally having the habit of putting their finger right here instead of right here. Anytime you pick up a gun, don't matter if it's loaded or if it's not, whether you know it or if you don't, keep your finger resting on the slide. I have the habit to, just because of the way this gun is made, I put my finger here because then I know, because I can feel it in there. I know it ain't gonna slip down into the trigger well. I know, I feel it. You see that? I feel that. So when I grab my gun, I hold it just like this. Fingers right there. It's resting on that little piece right there. Just sits right there. So I know. Now, if it's resting on the side, whatever the case may be, if I'm working my slide, working my gun, I still feel that. I made this a habit. I rest here. This feels comfortable to me. I don't trip. I don't, oh man, it's just so weird. Nope. I created this habit. You can too. Pick your gun up all throughout the day. Just keep picking your gun up and doing this. Keep picking your gun up. You pull it out your holster here. So when it's loaded, you're still here. Gun can't do shit till you here. I know they talk about, well, it's a safety on there too. Gun can't do nothing with your finger here, no matter what. Same thing. So that's what I do. Keep your gun there so you don't have to do that because you already know every gun I got, if it's a gun I got, it's loaded, it's a bullet in the chamber. I keep it that way. My wife keeps it that way. Same thing. I don't need to try to check. I wonder if this. Now, I do a press check just out of habit. I do that. I tap my magazine in and I do a press check and I do that just to check when I pick my gun up to holster it for the day. When I put my gun on for the day, I just do that. That's just something I've just done. I always drop my mag, put my mag back in. I do a slight press check to make sure she in there, and that's it. Even though I know it's in there, I just do it. Just because I'm looking for ammo. If somebody hands me a gun and I'm not about to shoot it and I unload it, that's what I'm doing. They tell me it's not loaded, I still open it up. It's habit. That's just because of my dealing with firearms. I wouldn't. You give me a gun, I'm gonna check it. You can give me a gun and open up the slide. You can hand me a gun like this and be like, here you go. I'm gonna do this. I'm looking for ammo. I'm looking for ammo. I want to see, hey, there's a bullet. That's what I'm looking for. Is there a bullet? There's a bullet? Nope, no bullet. Okay. That's what I'm doing. So it's like that's just the way that I just trained myself that way just to make sure that I'm safe. So if it's a revolver or something like that, I open that cylinder up and I spin it and I'm gonna look. And I'm touching for bullets. I want to touch a bullet. I want to find a bullet. Same thing. Yes, deep lock it, like how you hand somebody a blade. You hand it to them by the handle. You don't hand somebody a knife like, here you go. That's all you do. And once you do it enough, it seems real easy to do, but it's not. You have to train yourself. Thank you, UFO. You gotta create that muscle memory. Keep doing it to the point to where it's second nature. That's just what it is. So let's keep going. He should have had a round chamber. That's something he shouldn't have to check for, because in this situation it worked out for him. But there could be a situation where it doesn't. There could be a situation where he's already in action. There could be a situation where you're already taking fire. And the last thing you want to do is have to pull your gun. Then you have to rack your slide to chamber around before you even begin to present. You don't want to be in that situation, because in doing that, people can say, oh, I watched the video. A dude did it so fast. It's like seconds. You say you think it could take that much time, but for somebody who don't do that every day, taking that time to do that gives somebody plenty of time to place a shot on you, a second or a third shot on you.
Flew out the pistol, and I turned the corner. She's like, Bun, don't go out there. That's not even, just to make sure one was in the chamber, which it usually is, and there was. So that one bullet, ejected out of flew out the pistol, and I turned the corner. She's like, Bun, just to make sure one was in the chamber.
Just thought about this. Another thing what that does, and this is another reason why I'm not a huge fan as a primary or everyday carry weapon, being a gun like a 380, or being a gun like a 22, or being a gun like a 45, because they have smaller capacities. Being in a gunfight with one person, they say the rules is most gunfights last 4 rounds. Well, I disagree with that, because you can be in a gunfight with more than one person. And when you factor in the fact that usually your first shot usually doesn't place. So from the time you pull your firearm out to where you're getting ready to present and shoot your gun, usually that first round may either wind up in the ground because you're bringing it up before you shoot, or it just is not on target. It's just not on target. It's like, test yourself the next time you go to the gun range and do this. Take your gun, press your target, send it down a good, let's say 7 to 10 yards. Between 7 and 15. And set your gun just on the little tray, the little table right there in the stall. Okay? Set your gun right there. And then I want you to turn around, turn your back, walk away from the stall. And then I want you to, you or your buddy, whatever, somebody count down to like 10 or something. Count down to 5 or whatever, 3, count down or whatever. Turn around, walk up to that stall very quickly, pick your gun up and just fire. And watch how poorly most of you will shoot. Not sitting there doing this and then taking your time, getting your dead eye together. Nope. I'm talking just walking, gun sitting on there. You turn around, sight unseen, walk right up very fast, walk right up, pick your gun up and bang. Or pick your gun up and bang, bang. Whatever you can do. And just see where you place your gun, your shots, compared to when you get to sit there, take your time, and get your sight picture lined up, get your targets lined up, get your sights lined, and go to work like you normally do. Just take it clean out. If you outside at a range and you have the ability to just go from your holster, just walk up to your target very quickly and just walk up and just pull out and just shoot and see what happens. Because there's so many things that's going on, especially when you don't have time to sit and look and study and look at that target. Turn around and just turn back around and pick it up and just see what happens. Because if you're doing that, you're gonna really see how quickly you can acquire that target. And then you're gonna see how quickly it takes you, or how poorly you can, well, how good or poor you can actually place that bullet, that first round center mass, and try to hit the bullseye. Try to hit a headshot just to see. And those are the things that you do to try to see how good you really are. One of the things we used to do when we would qualify at the department, we would have to do this thing to where you would have your gun on, but you had to do like 25 jumping jacks. Then you had to do like 15 push-ups. Then you had to run to one side, run back to the middle, and then run up, and then pull your gun out and then shoot. You'd be surprised at how many times we missed it, because it's something that you're not used to doing. Or after you do that, you do push-ups, run, come back, then you go down, you got to drop to your knee and shoot. You got to lay down in the prone position and shoot. Doing those type of things, everybody can't go and don't have the facilities and don't have the ability to do that. But doing those type of things, they change everything. All of your mechanics change. Shooting from the knee, shooting from the prone position, which means you just lay straight out. Shooting from a position where you're on your side. Shooting from the position with your left hand. Just switching to your offhand. It's like, oh my God, it's so much different. It's so different. Everything changes. So you have to, those are the things that you work on, instead of just putting 100 holes in one target and then posting it up on Facebook or Instagram saying, yeah, it went to the range today. Those are the things that you need to do so that you're ready for those situations, to where you might be in a fight. What if you're in a fight and the dude is on top of you and you got to pull your gun out to shoot another target? How many times have you practiced that shot? You don't. So when we're talking about having enough rounds in a gun, you have no idea how many people you may have to shoot at, because one of the last things you want to do in a gunfight is reload. So you want to be aware of how many bullets you have to dispatch your assailants. That definitely plays a role. Me personally, for an everyday primary carry gun, I recommend nothing less than 13-in-1 gun. I'd rather have too much than not enough. You can get away with a 10. I'd say 10-in-1. 10-in-1 is good. That's bare minimum. Me personally, I got to have at least 13 with me. 13-in-1, baby. My smallest gun. That's my little Beretta Compact, my Beretta Storm, PX4 Storm subcompact. Fitting about the palm of my hand. Beautiful pocket rocket. Did a video on it. Check it out on my United Guns of America channel. I actually got a lot of views on that gun review too. But that little pocket rocket, 13-in-1, 14 shots. So you can find the right type of gun that can accommodate size, that can accommodate capacity. That stuff matters. Because if you waste a round, if you don't place a target, you shouldn't have to be worrying about running out of bullets in a gunfight. You don't want to be sitting there counting rounds like, oh shit, I got. And that's why one of the things I just don't do it. Even though I can't justify, I just don't do it for my own personal reasons. I don't recommend revolvers as primary carries. Great for backups. Yep. Great for a backup gun. But not for a primary carry, because you only got 6 rounds. And that's it. You can't sit and reload with no 6 rounds, with no revolver. I don't care if you got a speed load or not. That's too much time. Too much time.
Usually is, and there was. So that one bullet, ejected out of flew out the pistol, mm-hmm. And I turned the corner. She's like, Bun, don't go out there. That's not even a thought. I'm going out there. At this time, I don't know if it's 2 dudes. I don't know how many people it was. I don't know what's on the other side of that door, but whatever it was threatened my wife, so I'm finna go out there and address it.
That's right.
The thing about it, when he came in,
now, I'm going to say this. I was very brave, but it's also very stupid. Here's the thing. And you need to check your state that you live in or your city that you live in and see what the law is on that. Some places, I know Texas, you can go get a motherfucker. You got shots. Why I love Texas. Shout out to Texas. I love it here. You can stand your ground, and if somebody come in your shit, you can go get their ass. Plain and simple. There's that whole. There's some states that have the where you must retreat. That I think they call it right to retreat or opportunity to retreat or something. But basically, what that rule means as the opposite of stand your ground is saying that if you are in a situation where you fear for your life and you can retreat, you have to retreat first. You have to retreat first. That's the law in some states. You have to retreat first, which is to me a fucked up law. So basically, if somebody pulls out a knife and they tell me they're gonna kill me, and I'm in my living room, I gotta try to run to my bedroom, or I gotta try to run somewhere else. I gotta try to get away first before I can use my gun. That's pretty much what that is, and that's terrible to me. In my opinion, that's just terrible. Because you never know what can happen trying to retreat. Somebody could be like, your assailant could get even more aggressive. Like, oh yeah, this person's scared of me. Or their intention could just be to kill your ass. I want to hurt this person. I'm going to beat you with this bat. I beat that bitch with a bat. I beat that bitch with a bat. That's Chicago House. Y'all don't know nothing about that. But I'm just saying that could be the thing to where you thinking that, hey, this is what this person's going to do. And me trying to retreat, I'm putting my life in jeopardy, but I'm putting my loved one's life in jeopardy too by retreating. Because if I try to retreat and that person does catch up with me and I can't use my gun, I'm fucked.
I never got to turn the knob, the bottom knob. I was slowly turning the deadbolt. And I guess by me not being able to see him, he had to been holding on to the knob. That's the only knob he could hold on. So some kind of way, I remember I looked up because I'm looking down to retrieve a package that we do all the time.
Right.
So when I looked up, he had the gun right here.
Wow.
And so he was backing me back and at the same time locking the door. So he was trying to lead me up my steps, and I was like, I can't go up these steps because he going to catch Bun on the toilet.
I'm telling you, man, I'm really impressed at how smart she is because here's the thing. It's a lot to be in that situation where you have a gun to your head. I've had a gun put on me before, and it's like what you're thinking about is like, oh shit, here we go, goddamn. And it was like the person who pulled a gun on me, they were actually shaking. Like it looked like a 38 or something like that, but they actually had the shit to the side like it was an old school 70s stick-up movie or some shit, and it was actually shaking. And I was just so scared, like, man, if this young motherfucker's gonna accidentally shoot me. I was just like so terrified of that. Cause he had it like at my midsection and he's shaking like this, robbing me. And I'm just thinking like this motherfucker's gonna accidentally shoot me and I'm gonna fuck around and die right here. And it was like probably one of, if not the most helpless moment I have ever felt in my life. I felt so helpless and I felt like a straight up super or just the biggest victim in the world. And after that, I started carrying a gun illegally in Chicago. I went, it was like after that, after we got robbed over there on the east side, to them motherfucking little young ass niggas that robbed us, hey man, y'all got us, caught us slipping, caught us slacking, sleeping, whatever the case may be. Y'all robbed us for our gold and silver chains and shit we had on because we was flossing at the party, supporting our label. We was out there, putting our label and advertising. We was blinging and shit. We had a little crew with us, but we ain't had no guns. Dumbasses. And that shit got us. That dude, he was just standing there and he was just shaking. And it was like, I just felt beyond helpless. I gave up my shit. Here you go. here you go, pimp. Only thing I ain't give him my car keys. I'm like, I ain't about to walk home from the east side. This shit too damn far back to the hundreds. I ain't doing that. He gonna have to ask for these motherfuckers. But gave him my shit, and it was like, it was like what I did was I took the chain off, gave it to him, and when I saw him shaking, I said I don't want to really look in his face, and he think, now this motherfucker done see me, because they wasn't ski masked up. These was young amateurs. And I was like, man, I closed my eyes and I just began to pray out loud. I just began to pray. And it was like they robbed every last one of us except for my boy Mac and my boy Melvin. They was able to run. Yep, they ran, left our asses there with the pistols on us. But yeah, that's what they had to do though, real talk. But anyway, I felt so helpless that I said, man, this young ass nigga that didn't know me from Adam could have ended my life. My mother and father would have had to bury me. My brother would have had to bury me. There's been niggas out here. My uncles and shit would have came up from Memphis and they'd have been trying to kill motherfuckers. Niggas would have died. I tell you, I wouldn't have been by myself. There's a lot of motherfuckers that care about old Brian. But that feeling of just being helpless in that situation, after that, I went, finagled some kind of, did some finagling, got my address changed on my driver's license and all that stuff. Shout out to my cousin Carla, because she let me use the address. Appreciate you, cuz. But got my address switched around and shit, and then I went and I was able to buy a gun because I didn't have a city driver's license. So I went out there, was able to get a gun, and I carried that pistol, shit, till it got stolen from me. Old James ass stole my gun, boy, I tell you. But learned that lesson too. But even after that, pistoled up. So it's like that is just a valuable lesson and an experience to just learn. It's like when you in a situation like that, you never know what's gonna happen, and when you got a gun on you, for her to be thinking like that, because it's not something you expect, especially being in the neighborhood they live in. They ain't in the fucking hood. It ain't niggas robbing and home invasion in them motherfucking houses every day where they live. And for her to just be thinking about, oh, I'm just getting a package, unlocking the door and shit, and she look, ain't no package, and she look back up and she's staring down the barrel of a gun, and for her to think as quickly as she did and to keep the situation calm, outstanding.
Both of us gonna be dead.
Right.
He got to kill one of us. So, because he gonna catch Bun on the toilet. Steps, and I was like, I can't go up these steps because he gonna catch Bun on the toilet. Get me back, and at the same time locking the door. So he was trying to lead me up my steps, and I was like, I can't go up these steps because he gonna catch Bun on the toilet. Both of us gonna be dead.
Right.
He got to kill one of us. So me thinking fall, I fell at the bottom of the steps and slid to the floor. I balled up in a knot, and every time I did this and looked up, he had the gun right here.
Yeah.
The barrel of the gun was so cold, and he had it in a black glove hand. He had two gloves on, but one was blue and one was black. So he put it here.
I guess he must have been
and he
GD.
kept telling me, he was like, give me what you got. Give me everything you got. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I'm in shock that this is happening to me.
Right.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Give me everything you got, or else I'm going to kill you. And I shook. I'm like, wait, what? And in between him telling me this, he looks over and notices I have a bedroom. So when I seen him looking towards the bedroom, I started saying, just take my car, because I didn't want him to take me in that bedroom and rape me and do whatever he wanted to do.
Right.
And so I don't know, in between the time that I got up off the floor, no, I was still on the floor when he asked, he heard the footsteps. Both.
All right, so let me say this. Ladies, let me tell you something. Ladies, there's a term that is used in self-defense and just, home defense and things like that. And this term is called last stand. What that means, and this is so important for ladies. Ladies, please hear this. Last stand means, in this particular context, That means the place where you either gonna live or die. When you hear stories about women getting kidnapped, women getting snatched, and women getting taken off and stuffed into a van, and then they wind up dead and things like that, let me tell you something, ladies. I know that you may be scared and it may be a terrifying situation, but if a man or a woman is ever trying to get you to go somewhere, you don't go. If they're trying to get you in the car, you walking down the street and they pull up in a van, you fight right then and there to the death. You're in a parking lot at Walmart and some guys try to stuff you, or a guy try to stuff you in a car, try to pull you into a van. Fight to the death right there. You make your last stand right there. Why? Because it's in a public place. There are people that could or may or may not hear something or could hear something, and there is the best possible chance in that moment there for you to get help and for you to get away. You getting in that car, getting in that van, complying and getting in that whatever and going away with that person or those people, 9 times out of 10, you're going to die. When criminals take people away, when they're kidnapping you, when they snatching you off the streets, whatever the case may be, most of those people that do, they never survive. So you can get in that van, get in that car, hoping, oh, they'll just fuck the shit out of me and let me go. That doesn't happen. Usually when they take you away so they can do whatever they want to do to you, and then they can kill you and no one will be around, because they're going to take you to a secluded area. They're going to take you into the woods. They're going to take you out into the country. They're going to take you into a place where nobody can hear you scream. They're going to take you to a place that has a tremendous amount of noise to where no one can hear you, or they're going to take you to a place where it's so quiet because there's nobody around, where you can scream all day and night and no one can hear you. Always remember, make your last stand right where you are. You don't sit and think, oh, I'm going to get on my phone while I'm laying in the trunk and call and get help. You don't do that. Make that last stand right then and there on the street. If you got pepper spray, if you got a rape whistle, whatever the case may be, let it go down right there. And you fight like your life depends on it. Because it does. You fight to the death. You scream, bite, scratch, choke you, bite you, stab you. You got a spoon. You use the spoon as a knife. I wish this spoon was sharp. I'd stab me somebody right now. Whatever it is, you go on whatever you got within you to fight. You give it all to them right then and there. If you gonna run, scream, yell, karate chop, whatever it is you can do, jab them with your keys, whatever you can do, you do it right then and there. Because if you go with them, if your kid goes with them, if you let them take your kid, they are usually going to die. That's it. That whole thing of hoping the FBI catch them, well, I let them take little Johnny because they said they'll shoot me. You make them shoot you right there. That's what you do. You make them do whatever they threatening they gonna do. I want you to do it to me right here, motherfucker, where I'm at. Because somebody can see, a camera could catch it, somebody could come help, because where I'm going ain't no help. Hoping the police will find me on the Amber Alert, don't bet on it. So keep that in mind. Make your last stand right then and there. Don't try to save it. Don't try to hope like in a movie, I'm going to lay in the trunk, and once they come and open up the trunk, I'm going to give them hell. No, you're not. So keep that in mind. Make that last stand right where you stand. Don't go with them. Don't let them take you. If they're going to take your ass, let them take your dead, limp, knocked out body. That's how you get tied up. When they say, well, what happened? Well, I started fighting and clawing, and somebody must have hit me over the head because I passed out, and I woke up with a big headache and blood running down the back of my neck. That's how your story better be told. Or that's what they better see when they do the autopsy on your ass. Like, yeah, she suffered blunt force trauma, but it looked like it happened in the parking lot of Walmart as opposed to in the forest. That's what you want to do. Because if you don't, and you go with them, you put your hands up. Case in point, you remember in the movie Hoodlum, you remember Illinois Gordon? Old Bear? You know what happened when Old Bear came and Officer Forley, get in the car, Officer Forley. He put him in that car. What happened to Old Bear? Illinois Gordon got found hanging up on the dock or on the alley or somewhere with some of them blue slips that they used to run numbers with stuffed in his mouth. They put a corkscrew up his nose. They had no intention of letting him go. Illinois Gordon should have fought them police officers, and all that shit should have went down right then and there on the block. Now, Officer Foley, he did get it. But that is what happened to Illinois Gordon. You don't go.
First heard the footstep. I know the layout out of my house. Then that's when he goes, how many floors you have? I go, 4. And he says, okay, who is that up there? I say, that's my husband. He said, tell your husband don't come down.
At this point, I'm moving. I hear what's going on, and I'm moving.
Steps that Bun is headed to get the gun. So I'm steady screaming, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. He said, I'm going to kill you if he come down. I'm like, please don't kill me, please don't hurt me, because I see he looking at the bedroom. And so at the same time, he goes, I say, I could hear Bun getting closer. I say, Bun, don't come down. Because he told me 3 times not to tell him don't come down, but he didn't know it was Bun. So when I noticed when I said Bun, he startled, like, because he was heading for the bedroom. He startled. And I was like, okay, to myself, I'm saying, he don't know where he at. So I made it a point myself. I said, Bun, don't come down the stairs. Please don't come down. And that's when he asked me for the keys to my car. Right. I've been trying to offer you my car for the last 3 minutes. You didn't want it.
Right.
So he said, where's the keys? And I said, I keep them in my car. I just, back in the garage, I keep them in my car. Okay, what door is that? That's the garage. So I don't know what happened, how I got up off the floor. But the entire time when I was on the floor, I didn't feel like I was going to die. I felt protected because when I looked up at him, he put the gun back in my face and all I could see was his eyeballs and something white right here on his neck. So.
And then that was like he had an emoji ski mask on.
Y'all had a shootout in the garage, right? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so after I had
she let him out to the car.
Okay.
And once I see, I'm stuck in the garage with him. So I'm steady trying to press the garage door to let it up, but it keep going so slow. So I'm so nervous. I'm pushing. It's going up, down. And then he said, open up the damn garage. And I just laid on it, and it just started coming up. And I looked out my peripheral view, and I seen him get in the car. And once he got in the car, I jumped back in the house. My thing was to lock the door, but as I was going back in, I was trying to let the garage door down to keep him in there. But thank God for the Audi, because he couldn't figure out how to start it.
Wow.
Because the push button is over on the passenger side. So he in there looking, and I noticed he was looking when I ran back in the house. So I met Bun at the door as I was getting ready to close. Bun was getting ready to open it, and I was pleading with him, don't go out there because he got a gun. He gonna shoot.
Bun, like, I got a gun too.
I got a gun too. I'm definitely, I don't know if he gonna shoot, but I'm definitely gonna shoot.
Yeah.
Bun hit him with that big baby. Bun like, big baby gonna shoot. I'ma shoot. What you gonna do, big baby? I'ma shoot. He hit him with that big baby. And here's the thing. Because of the totality of circumstances, you don't know what it's like for a man to know, like, not only have you violated my house, you done violated my wife, you done put my life in jeopardy, her life in jeopardy, and you still in my property. I got to give you this. It's pretty much what he thinking. Because it's like, you don't know if this dude is going to come back. You don't know if he's going to try it again. You don't know what it's going to be like the next time. You want to stop the threat. And I totally understand what he meant by that and why he like shit. I got a gun too. Fuck that. And that's the difference is just between men and women, like I was talking before. She's just trying to survive now at this point, and she wants him to survive. Bun is like, no, fuck that. I don't want this shit to ever happen again. Let me get it cracking. I'm about to do my big baby, and I'ma shoot. That's what he's thinking.
I don't know. And again, I don't know what's on the other side. So I just go through the door and I look and I don't see the garage door is up and I don't see a person. So then I look in the car.
Now, and to that, like I said, I understand it. But if we're talking about right and wrong, it's very stupid. Because you don't know how well this guy shoots. You don't know this guy could get off a lucky ass shot. I told a story a while ago about my dad telling me a story about one of a police officer that died, and they died from a simple traffic stop. And the guy was actually getting out. I mean, they pulled the guy. Well, it was two officers pulled the guy over. Basic traffic stop. This was back in like the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. This is when he first got on the force. And they pulled him over. So two guys get out, police officers, like normal routine, getting out, walking up to the car. Guy jumps out of the car, takes off running. Gone. Police, what do? Take off running behind them. As this guy's running, he pulls out his gun, the guy who's running, not looking back. He literally turns around and shoots a shot off to essentially scare off the cops and keep them from chasing him. Because what you going to do if you hear a gunshot, you see a gun, you going to take cover, you going to dive out the way, whatever. So he running, take his gun out, pow, shoot one shot. One shot. You know what happened? He shot the police officer dead. He shot him in the eye. How in the fuck he made that shot, no one knows. He could probably never make that shot in a million tries. Running away from the police, not even looking, and firing a shot to scare the police off. And he shot and killed a police officer through the eye. Officer dropped right then and there. Bam. Lucky shot. 1 in a million shot. Like I said, that guy could probably never make that shot ever again in 2 lifetimes. 10 lifetimes. But he did. Now, with those officers, would that be standard routine for them to chase a guy from a traffic stop? Hell the fuck yeah. And even the guy, I would imagine that dude didn't expect to, his intention wasn't to shoot that police officer. And he damn sure wasn't trying to shoot him in the eye. But he Bushwick Billed that police officer. I would have shot you in the body. Why you shoot me in my eye? But that's what happened. Shout out to Bushwick Bill. Rest in peace. Bushwick dead too, ain't he? Damn. Bushwick dead. Pimp C dead. Man.
And I see his head and his body turn back towards me. And that's when I just let that thing go.
You think when he said, hey,
gun too?
Well, I got a gun too. I'm definitely, I don't know if he gonna shoot, but I'm definitely gonna shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, I don't know what's on the other side. So I just go through the door and I look and I don't see, the garage door is up and I don't see a person. So then I look in the car and I see his head and his body turn back towards me. And that's when I just let that thing go.
You think when he said,
right.
But she never answered.
And it's like, he let that thing go, and guess how many times he shot him? I think the dude got shot once in the arm. You didn't hear him once say, I tried to, just stop him. I wanted to shoot him in the arm. He let it ride and didn't even fatally wound him. Shot him one time. I would love to know how many rounds he fired. But there you go. And that's just what I mean by that training. Even no matter how much you train, when you add in your, what do they call it? Your adrenaline, When you add in OODA loop, if you don't know what OODA loop is, just do a YouTube search for it. It's OODALOOP, OODA loop. And it basically just tells you what happens when you're in a highly stressed situation like in a gunfight. It talks about how you get tunnel vision. It talks about how your hearing gets very bad, where you don't hear as defined. You don't hear those minute things. It talks about how you lose fine motor skills. That's why I always tell and I always train people, when you're operating the slide on the firearm, what you see in the movie, you see that. You see the cool ass nigga, you be like, let's get him, partner. You see that. That's not how you operate a slide on the firearm. Slide on the firearm is always the whole hand, and it's always over the top. That's how you operate a slide. You do a tap, rack, you doing anything like that, you doing a press check, you always do that, because this is much easier to do in a stressful situation than the pinch. The pinch looks cool, but when you're in a situation where you're highly stressed, you got gunfire, you're scared, you may be shot, you may be hurt, you may have seen somebody get shot, and you trying to save yourself, trying to do this and pull your gun. It's harder to do this than it is to do that. It's that simple. See where my fingers are? Thumb, here. Boom. That's what this little part here, when you look at that little part there, that's what that's for. On some guns, you'll even see the serrations up here too. It'll be in both spots so that you can do that. Grab that guy. My thumb is on this side on those serrations. Helps me grab it. Boom. So it's like when you're thinking like that, when you're having that OODA loop happening, you lose fine motor skills, you get tunnel vision, your hearing, you get deafened, and it's like your heart is racing and pumping, you're breathing. You have to make sure that you in order way to calm those things down, you have to breathe and you have to rely on your muscle memory. You have to also talk to yourself. You tell yourself, I'm going to win. You tell yourself, I'm not going to die. You tell yourself, he's going to lose. You tell yourself those things to keep your mind working. Because even if you're somewhere out in public, and just think about when you go to the gun range. For those of you who go to the gun range, and the first time you ever went to a gun range, that first time, even when you put on earmuffs, and usually when you go into a gun range, there's a door in between the outside part of the range and the actual inside part where the stars are. When you get in between that door and you hear that boom, that first one, it makes you do that. I laugh at people doing it all the time because I know it's going to come. It happened to me. I expect it and I anticipate it now, but somebody who hasn't been shooting before, somebody who don't go often, when they put them earmuffs on and they go into that thing and they getting ready to go into the actual stalls, they hear that boom. They like, oh shit. Don't let somebody have some real hardware where they shooting like a rifle or they shooting like something loud or a 4.5 or some shit like that or a 44 or Deagle. Deagle is Desert Eagle. Somebody that's shooting something like that, because this really gonna hit. It's gonna hit hard. I'm telling you, it's gonna hit hard. You're gonna be like, oh shit. So it's like, and yeah, that's one of the things I love too. I love going to the range with my AR. And I got you, JJ Du Bois. I saw your question. I'm gonna answer it. Going to the range and my AR, when I take my my suppressor off, and because it's a short barrel, and I also have a whatchamacallit on it, a flash hider on it. When I let that motherfucker ride, that pressure comes out from the side of the front of my rifle when the suppressor's not on, and it says boom, and it's like I know it's gonna happen when I pull the trigger, but once I do, or if I let it ride and I lay off like about 5 or 6, motherfuckers start doing the lean back. That's when the people that's in the stall, they start leaning back to see like, what the fuck is he shooting down there? I've had people who've been in the stall next to me, and they be like, man, dude, I could feel that pressure coming from your gun from next to my stall. Be like, yeah, man, I got that hardware, man. But I love that shit. That's just awesome when you have a piece of fine fire. When you have a very high quality firearm, you get to enjoy those kind of things. But that's pretty much, just like I said, it's just something that you have to consider and think about. So one other thing I want to show real quick, and this was just basically the news conference, and then there's some fuck shit that's gonna happen after that that I was just like, wow, when I saw this today. Check this out. When you rapid shoot your DP-12, see? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There it is, Jason.
Vader. The Houston rapper shot the would-be thief, protecting his home and his wife. Andy Sirota live in Bun B's Southwest Houston neighborhood with the confrontation that led to an exchange in gunfire. Andy?
And thankfully, Bun B and his wife, Queenie, weren't physically hurt, but tonight they are certainly dealing with the trauma of it all. Houston rapper Bun B, whose real name is Bernard Freeman, and his wife Queenie were victims of a home invasion until the rapper pulled a gun to defend his wife and his home. Bun B was upstairs, his wife Queenie downstairs in the kitchen when she heard the doorbell ring and immediately answered it, thinking an Amazon package was being delivered. When she opened the door, a masked man, later identified as DeMonte Jackson, pointed a gun at her head, forced his way inside, and according to prosecutors said, "Give me what you got."
She was originally afraid that he was there to cause harm to her husband. It turns out that he was just randomly trying to get into homes, according to the security guard on property.
She offered him the keys to her car.
During this commotion, Bernard Freeman heard her screaming, armed himself, and ran to engage the home invader.
In the garage, police say Bun B opened fire on Jackson. Jackson returned fire and got away. As he ran off, prosecutors say Bun B tried stopping him and shouted, "Take off your mask." Jackson showed up later at Pearland Medical Center with a gunshot wound to his left shoulder.
You have a right in Texas to defend both your wife and your home, and that's what Bun did.
And Bun B later identified Jackson in a photo spread. Jackson facing several criminal charges tonight, including 2 counts of aggravated robbery. Live in Southwest Houston, Andy Sirota, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you. So, he let loose, or he said he let it ride, and he got 1 hit. My point. So you let ride, let it go, let it loose. Now, just imagine if that dude's intention on like, I'm gonna take this motherfucker out because he's trying to take me out, and stayed in exchange gunfight. Don't you want to have more than 6 rounds? Don't you want to have more than 9 rounds? Yes, you do. So, to the question, this is a Glock 22. This is a 40 caliber Glock. This was my service weapon when I was in the Sheriff's Reserve up in Michigan. This is a Glock 22. This is not standard the way that it looks now. This is a polished slide and barrel. And yes, it is so sexy with those sights on. Let me see if I can see those. I got the tritium glow in the dark sights. There we go. So yeah, it's the HD sights on there. These guys glow in the dark. And they have the orange front sight on there for easier sight acquisition, and it does have a tritium inserted in there as well. This is a 40 cal. These are 40 caliber bullets. These are the Spear Gold Dot hollow points. Yeah, man. That's pretty much what this gun is here. All right. Matter of fact, let me get this guy back in business just so I can have peace of mind. Boom. This carries 15 rounds in the magazine. You can see that. I did that paint work myself to make it where you can see what it is. I know that it's a 40, and I'm going to tell you why I did that. Because I have a gun that looks very similar to this. All right. Thank you. And that is my everyday carry, which is a Glock 17. Glock 17 and the Glock 22 are very similar. Very, very similar. This has a polished slide as well. Polished barrel. I have the same sights on this guy, just like that one. But let me go ahead and show you this. See how that one was yellow and this one is white? This has 17 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. That has 15 and 1 in the chamber. So that's 16 and this is 18. This is my baby. I love her. Yeah, she's so nice, so good to me. But this is I love the Glock 17. This was, and I'm gonna tell you, I was one person who was against Glock. I was born and raised on Beretta and Smith & Wesson. My daddy carried a Beretta. My brother carried a Beretta. My first gun I bought was a Beretta 92 FS full size, baby. 16 and 1. Just saying. That's just what I was raised on. When I had my first gun and I was carrying it, I had that full size Beretta, baby, ready to go to work, baby. But that's what I had. Oh, also too, I can show you the difference in these bullets that I carry are different than this one. So that is one of the baddest bullets, and I believe the baddest bullet that's out today. That is a Hornady Flex Tip 9mm plus P round. This bad boy here is that deal. As far as performance, you can look it up. This is one of the best rounds actually out today. The Spear Gold Dot, I used to carry that in here, but this is what I've been carrying. Actually, I'm coming up on my 2nd year, so I need to shoot this next year. Yeah, because I got those other ones back in the early part of 2018. Yeah, but I take my bullets out. I keep my bullets in my gun for 2 years, and then I shoot them and get new ones. That's just my routine, and that's just because what we did in law enforcement. So, but yeah, that's the difference between those two. They are literally like so close to being the same type of gun. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can swap the barrels and use it's the exact same frame. Ain't gonna sweat it at, but I believe you can do that with those two. With the 22 and the 17, I think you can swap either the barrels or you can swap the slides or something where it's that like close as far as just the way that they're made that you can swap those and you can actually use it interchange it. But that's pretty much what those two are. Now, JJ Du Bois asked a question a while ago in the chat. Let me scroll back up, and he asked about the AR-15. And I think he said, is the AR-15 a practical gun to have for self-defense? Is that what he said? I don't want to misquote him. Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said shit. How practical is an AR pistol? That's what he said. How practical is an AR pistol? So let me answer that. I like the AR-15, first and foremost. Love the AR-15. I love my AR-15. The AR pistol, I think, is a great close quarters, compact combat solution. The only thing that you have to worry about with that AR pistol is possible issues with, well, not even an issue, but that AR pistol, because it's such a smaller barrel, you're going to get a lot more pressure out of those 223 or 5.56 rounds that you're shooting or whatever. You're going to get a lot more pressure out of that gun. And because it has that the rifle platform, it may just be a little bit snappier than a regular rifle, but as far as just close quarters, I don't see a problem with AR pistol. I just don't. I see there's a lot of advantages, and you can have pros and cons to it, but I think there are more pros to it when you're talking about magazine capacity, when you're talking about stopping power, when you're talking about wound cavity, you're talking about somebody DRT. DRT stands for dying right there. That's gonna get it done. You hit somebody with an AR-15, they gonna die right there. That's all I'm saying. More than likely, that's what it is. But I would definitely say if you're talking about having something for home defense and you want to have a gun that's compact, that's you can say, hey, if shit hits the fan and I need to defend my house, if I got 5 niggas that's running up in my crib, to have an AR pistol is a great idea. You can store it in a lot of different places. You can tuck them somewhere, put it under your coffee table, whatever you're going to do. Having that AR pistol, you can really go to work with that, especially in a close quarter combat situation. The only reason why I didn't get an AR-15 pistol, not to say that I wouldn't, because I definitely would, but the only reason why I didn't was because I didn't have a rifle at all. And I wanted a rifle. I wanted an SBR, a short barrel rifle, which does give me some close quarter combat abilities, but I definitely wanted to have a SBR because I didn't have a rifle. So I wanted the best of both worlds. SBR, in my opinion, it gives you, because with the AR pistol, because it's a shorter barrel, your accuracy and your range is a little bit off. It's a little bit different. It don't hit like full size. Even if you're talking about a full size AR-15, that accuracy of that rifle, because of the barrel length and because of the rifling, it makes that boy spot on. SBR is spot on as well. it just maybe not go as far, but it's like it's so minute in the difference between the two. That's why I went with the SBR. So I hope that answers your question. If I was to say suggest which one, if this was your first gun, I would say probably for home defense, I would say maybe going with something like an SBR for close quarters combat with a 300 blackout. Yep, like Jason just said, you should make it a 300. Well, yeah, I would make it. I would make that a 300 blackout. The only reason why I'm not is because that barrel is probably gonna cost me a little bit because of the gun manufacturer that I have. Is gonna probably cost me, and I don't want to put an aftermarket barrel in that gun. I just don't want to do that. Get a barrel from somewhere else and put that in. I don't want to do that and change out the ammo and all that stuff. The gas system, the fact that because that gun there is piston driven, it works so fucking well with the way that it is now. I don't want to do shit else to it. So I would probably buy or even build a 300 blackout SBR before I would do anything to that gun. My rifle. I love my rifle the way that it is. Yes, you can shoot. I think you cannot shoot from the shoulder. An AR-15 pistol. Yeah, you can. It's just that the stock is different. That's the only thing. That stock is just a little different. But they have some that are so modified, and even that little small stock, because it's that AR-15 pistol. You in here with it. That's it. So it's good. You can put it up to the shoulder. It just doesn't have some of them don't have that butt stock like the rifle does. That's the only difference. But yeah, you can shoulder that boy. Absolutely, you can. You don't have to hold it out here. You can definitely shoulder that boy. So yeah, believe that. Yep, you absolutely can. So, you're not going miss them because you in the not to miss while wasting a $5 book. I don't know what the hell you just said, LaShawn. Please retype that, sir. But yeah, that's what did you say about the law? ATF just changed the law. What did they change the law to, Jason? I didn't know about that. I hope Trump reverses that law to where I get my goddamn money back for my tax stamp and my short barrel and my suppressor. So that's $400 I could definitely use somewhere else. I could buy some more shit for my gun. But or buy another gun. But yeah, that's definitely they done not finished sentence. Yeah, I don't know what you talking about, bro. You must be drinking this. He been drinking. And he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Or he's typing. Or he ain't typing. And I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's tipsy. Nah. But I think there was another question, but I think I may have missed it. Houston has been together so long. Like, no, a little more in person. Chat room. I don't. Was he a little more person? Chat room. I don't want to be confused. Yeah. My duty gun is a piece of shit. S&P 45 millimeter. You don't get to choose your own service weapon, Jason? That's weird. They have a standard, and then I guess you can't deviate from the standard, but some places will let you deviate. They'll at least give you a couple of different models, but yeah, I get that. That's why I love Glocks. Thousands of add-ons and mods. Yeah, you can do a lot with a Glock, man. I think that was it then. Loading, so please, if I got tight, don't shoot them. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that dude LaShawn talking about, man. AR pistols, great weapon for close quarters. Yup. All right, cool. Any more questions? We've been at it for about an hour and a half now, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. You shotgun, aim and kill. Did they get finished sentence? Not drinking, was sober when shotgun. XUZZ. I don't know what that means, pimp. But it is what it is. I'm going to let that go. Brian, do I like Taurus? Tony, why you ask me that? God damn it. I think you're the first person to ever ask me that. Here's my thing about Taurus. Would I ever buy a Taurus? No. I don't like Taurus because it's so fucking close and it's a fucking bite. They bit Beretta and they cut some corners with the craftsmanship. A Taurus works. I haven't seen a shitty Taurus. They work. I haven't heard of like just, Taurus is not working. I just don't like the craftsmanship. I don't like the way that they skimped on just how the gun was made. It's because the Taurus, the most popular one, is the one that's similar to the Beretta 92 FS. And I don't know what they call that model of Taurus, but it's very similar. That's when I first saw that gun. That's when I stopped liking it. And so I got the GTC9. And then here's the thing too. One of the benefits about Taurus as to why they cut those corners is that they make it more cost effective. So they don't give you as much, the edges aren't as rounded and polished. The attention to detail isn't as defined because they save money so that they can sell the gun cheaper. I would never buy a Taurus, but I know plenty of people who have, and I haven't heard people complain about it. Now, when you're talking about that damn C-Note pistol, what is that made? Who is that goddamn the cheap shit? Who's that? Y'all know that motherfucker. I always talk shit about them every time I get a chance to. That garbage ass fucking gun manufacturer. They got the gun that's made out of the $100 bills. Why they got the $100 bill? That piece of shit. What is that manufacturer called? Is it a C9 or what is it called? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. It's just a High Point. There you go. The High Point 9C. That's what it is. That's it. Thanks, Easy. That fucking High Point. I will never tell anybody about one of them. I don't give no fucks about that. That gun is shit. It is literally just a gun because of the definition. But I personally believe that no, you don't have to go out and buy a fucking custom made Wilson combat or a custom made Kimber. No, you don't have to go out and spend $1,800 or $2,500 on a fucking handgun. I'm not saying that, but because Kimber has its drawbacks too. Kimber has, even though they're finely made and you're talking about a beautiful firearm, the craftsmanship alone in a fucking Kimber, it is a beautiful gun. They spare no expense with a Kimber. However, Kimbers, especially the ones that are using the 1911 platform, they tend to be very picky with the type of ammo that you use. And people, when you use different types of ammo, like for practice and things like that, Kimbers will act real funny and will jam on you or give you stovepipes and all that type of stuff. You'll have those type of issues with Kimbers. Kimbers are very good guns, but they're very picky when it comes to ammo. So that's my thing about Kimber. But when you're just talking about buying a well-made, high-quality firearm, that's what I always recommend. And I recommend sticking to the main guys that do that. Yeah, you can get somebody to build you something, but the thing about building a gun, especially a rifle, they are cool to build, but you also run into the aspect of being able to fix that gun. If you're not a gunsmith or if you're not a person that fixed it and put it together, getting somebody else to build you an AR-15 could save you money, but you're now tied to that person, or you're going to have to be tied to someone who can actually help you either do modifications to that gun or to buy replacement parts for that gun, whatever the case may be. You don't have no warranty. You got to go to each particular part manufacturer to do that. That's the only drawback. Now, if you're a real gun enthusiast, you love putting them together, taking them apart, you're very good at it, you want to get into it, and you have a passion for it, absolutely, I would say build yourself your own AR-15 or build yourself your own Blackout 300, because you're going to have the thrill of building it, and then if something does go wrong, you can figure it out and get it straight, and you can put parts back together and all that kind of stuff for it. But when you're talking about saying, hey, because a lot of people can get into the, oh, well, shit, here's what a lot of people hear, and I'm going to go after this. A lot of people will say, hey, I could build you an AR-15 for $500. True. But what a lot of people will tend to do when they get that $500, they wind up spending another $2,000 adding this, upgrading that, adding on this, upgrading that. And you wind up at the cost of a high-quality firearm anyway. My AR-15, I paid a lot of money for it. And I paid a lot of money for it because I don't build them. And this was my first one. And I wanted something that was high quality that I could pass down to my children. I want my son, my grandson, my great-grandson to be shooting his daddy's AR-15 that he shot. So that's why I did that. So I went and spent that extra money for my firearm because it was my first one. I know I wouldn't sit up and build them and order all the parts and put all that shit together. I wasn't doing all that. I wanted something that was reliable because my ass is on the line with this gun. And I wanted something that if I had any problems with it, I could literally pick up the phone and say, hey. And they got me. And that's why I bought the gun that I bought. But you can spend, I would say, for somebody who's just looking to buy one, if you want to just buy an AR-15 just to have one to shoot and play around with it, go ahead and get you one of them $600 Springfield. Was that the Saint? I heard that's a great one. That Smith & Wesson one, I've heard a lot of good things about it too. And those are fairly cheap. Those are like $500 to $600. It's a Smith & Wesson one that they make, and it's a Springfield one. I think that Springfield is called the Springfield Saint. I heard a number of good things about both of those. If you're gonna build yourself one, you're gonna spend $1,000 or $1,200. You might as well go ahead and get you a badass rifle like a Daniel Defense or something like that, or get you a Barrett if you want to go a little bit on the high end, or get you one of those because you spend $800. I guarantee you're gonna spend another $400 to $600 adding on shit. When you talk about light, changing out the trigger, changing out your buttstock, adding this, adding that, adding rails to it, adding all this other stuff on it, getting your sights on it, getting you an optic on it, you gonna wind up, Palmetto State, they make a good one too. When you talk about doing all that, when it's all said and done, Rock River makes a good one too. When you get through doing all that, you gonna be at $1,800. Believe that. Believe that. Everything on my rifle, suppressor, optic, my sight. Well, my sights came with it. That came with those sights. It came with a Geisley trigger. All of that stuff, but I threw at least another $1,500 easy into that rifle. I threw another $1,500 into it. So it's like, yeah, I got my fucking $35 or the $100 rifle, but that motherfucker's the shit. Shit, actually, with my new handguard but my new my handle I got on there, my front end, my forehand grip, I got 2 of those. Shit, I wound up spending almost $4,000, close to it, but it's what I wanted, and the motherfucker's beautiful. It's amazing. The rifle's amazing. No problems with it. I threw 800 rounds through it fresh out the box without a single jam. 800 rounds. I think I counted like 796 or some shit like that. And I'm talking about no oil or nothing. I did it on purpose just to see how well it would run. No oil, didn't clean a goddamn thing, didn't wipe it down or nothing. For them first, I tried to get to 1,000. I think I had to wipe it down for that when I was at the range, and I got to like 796 or some shit like that. I was at 800 rounds. Well, close to 800 rounds. That's what you do, and that's just gun getting hot, putting it back down, cooling off, not cleaning anything, the carbon buildup and all that stuff. Once I did that, I literally took my rag, wiped that inside down, boom, 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 went right back to work. No problem. So that's what it is. But like I said, it's all relative into what you want to pay and what you want to do with it and what you're going to be doing with it, and just if you want to keep it. If you want to just get you an introductory rifle, you want to spend $500 because you say, well, I'm going to see what I want, see what I like, try this one out, then I'm going to buy me another one. I'm going to build me another one after that. Then absolutely, that's what the $600 AR-15 is for. You want to give one to your 13-year-old kid to just shoot around? Absolutely, that's what it's for. Go get them one. Yep, basic 600 from I think my wife is gonna probably get one eventually. I don't clean guns too often. I still need to frog lube I frog lube my gun too. That frog lube, I swear by it. I frog lube my AR-15, frog lube my handguns. man, that shit works like it's amazing. I literally like clean. I can take all my guns to the range, shoot them for 2-3 hours, come home and clean them all in 30 minutes. Like cleaned in 30 minutes. That frog lube is amazing. But I want to give a shout out to everybody that checked out the show. I appreciate you guys. Oh, and I want to show you this last part. This is a part. Let me show you this real quick. I think I'm going to just go to 2 hours. Yeah, another 12 minutes. I couldn't believe this shit when I saw this shit, but it came on after I saw this little news part. Watch this fuck shit. And you tell me what you would have done. I may even cut this and add this as a separate video. So let's do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ain't that like Janet Jackson? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Redmond, and this is the Relationship Rehab. And I just wanted to share this video with you guys. What would you do if your kid was at school and they had a particular haircut that wasn't up to the standards of that school, and the school took matters into their own hands? I want you to check this out and tell me what you think.
Thank you, Andy. New at 6 o'clock, a haircut controversy in Pearland ISD. The school said the boy's haircut with this design cut into it violates the dress code there. Now, here's where the controversial part of the story comes in. A school administrator took a magic marker and filled it all in. The young boy's mother is understandably not happy about this. Channel 2's Taisha Walker reporting on that story tonight from Barry Miller Junior High School.
We have tried multiple times to try to sit down and talk to the mother of that Barry Miller Junior High School student. The mother ended up changing her mind about going on camera, but she had this to say by email. Angela Washington shared this photo of her 13-year-old son Jules's head. If you look closely, you can see where she says a black permanent marker was used to shade in the carved design in his head. KPRC2 has a copy of the statement that says the student's haircut was against the dress code. Quote, hair must be neat, clean, and groomed. Extreme hairstyles such as carvings are not allowed. The statement goes on to say that the campus administrator mishandled disciplinary action and that filling in the hair carving is not a practice condoned by the district. Other parents say they side with the school to a certain extent. Several parents have shared that the district had all parents sign the school's dress code at the beginning of the school year. Still, Washington claims that the coloring of her son's head had racial undertones and says the whole ordeal was humiliating for her son. We're told that administrator is on leave. The district failed to comment on whether that person is on paid administrative leave. In Pearland, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
The school.
Now, I have never heard of something like this. And my thing is this as well. You know, I get the code. I am not in no disagreement of the code. I'm not in disagreement of the rules of Pearland ISD in Houston. If this is what you guys say, and you say, hey, this is the code that we have, stick to the rules, absolutely. However, somebody putting their hands on my child and coloring in the design that he gets sent to school with, you write my son up, you give him a detention, you call me and send him home, you give him an in-house suspension. I don't care. 3-day suspension. I don't care what you want to do. You penalize my kid by the book. You don't sit there and write in my son's head with a Sharpie or some type of permanent marker or some type of dry erase marker. This was way out of line. This was beyond the scope and the reach and the authority of any school official. That was too far. And if somebody would have did that to my son, I promise you that there would have been some level of physical altercation. That is unacceptable. There are certain things that people can do, and I'm a firm believer in anybody saying what they want to say. Say whatever you want to say. This is America. You should be able to do that. However, when you begin putting your hands on somebody else's child, and especially doing something as degrading, disrespectful, and humiliating as this is, I tell you this, there would be no safe place for that person. Administrative leave, and y'all know, y'all have heard me on plenty of different shows before saying everybody that makes a mistake and does something wrong don't need to lose their job. Yes, that I believe that. You make a mistake, you say the wrong thing that offends somebody or hurts somebody's feelings. Yeah, I get it. You don't need to lose your job. This person needs to lose their job. And the reason why this person needs to lose their job is because of what they did and the way that they did it, and they knew what they were doing was wrong. You go to your job and you got on something that's not appropriate. What do? They write you up and they send you home. You come to school and your clothes ain't right. You got on a dress that's too tight. You got on something that's too revealing, or you got on something that's too short, or whatever the case may be. What do? They send you to the office and say you need to call your parent and tell them either bring you a change of clothes or they need to come take you home. You will not be in class that way, sir. You can go sit in the principal's office. You can go sit in the security office. You can go sit in the dean's office, the disciplinarian's office. You go sit in the office. Yeah, you can't participate in class. I get it. But to take that kid by the head and to take a marker and to shade in his hair lines that he had put in his head, it's beyond egregious. That in itself, that person should have lost their job. I don't know if they did or not, because like I said, I just stumbled upon this. That person should lose their job. Yes, they should be fired. Go work somewhere else, because obviously what you felt was okay to do to a kid, you don't need to be around them. Because I bet you if that person worked somewhere else, he wouldn't have did that to an adult. Let me come in there and I got Po Pimp in the back of my head. Shout out to my nephew Reese. I got Po Pimp in the back of my head in lines. Send me home, slap me on the head. Well, my uncles can slap me on the head or whatever, but bet nobody shade in my nephew's hair, my cousin's hair, or definitely my son's hair. You're not going to do that. You are not going to do that. This was outrageous. Like Auntie Mama say on Cleveland, I'm outrageous. This is outrageous. I couldn't believe that. And it's like, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe that. And he had like, and what it, if you look at it, it looks like the little thunderbolt line or whatever, or like a lifeline or something. That's pretty much what it looks like. It's like you got the little line in there, then it go up with the little design, then it go on to the back and to the fade. Whatever. You say facts, say he lying. I don't know. That is unbelievable. There are certain things that you go too far, and then it's a thing to just say, hey man, I can't help you, I can't save you. If that dude's parents come and mollywop you in the grocery store parking lot, if they come and they snatch you and take you in a van, you better have your last stand right there, because you probably ain't gonna live after that, partner. And I don't know if it was a man or a woman that did it, but that administrator definitely needs to lose their job. And that mother, well, hopefully there's a father, but I doubt it. But that kid's parent or parents, they need to sue. That was terrible. Terrible. I would lose it if that happened to my son or my daughter. It's like, there's a thing that you did right there. That was, you were making a point, and you were using my son, and you were using them to make an example, and you humiliated them. You disrespected me and him, and you made a mockery of my kid in front of his friends and the faculty and staff in that school. How dare you? Because that'll be the same person where if the parents come up to that school and beat that woman's butt in front of the faculty, the kids, and the teachers and that fellow teachers, then that person would be so traumatized that they couldn't go on. I can't go on in this school anymore because of the way I was treated, being beaten like that. I'm having nightmares. I'm in therapy. Right. Imagine what you did to this kid over some lines in his head. I get the rules. I totally understand how you have expectations of how a kid should come to school and be groomed. But for you to feel like this, so it's okay to do that, you need to be fired. I couldn't believe it. Watch it one more time.
Said the boy's haircut with this design cut into it violates the dress code there. Now, here's where the controversial part of the story comes in. A school administrator took a magic marker and filled it all in. The young boy's mother is understandably not happy about this. Channel 2's Taisha Walker reporting on that story tonight from Barry Miller Junior High School.
And he's in junior high. So you talking 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Really? I can clearly, and I'm 45, I can clearly remember my 7th and 8th grade years, how important and defining that was as a young man entering into puberty, liking girls, talking about girls, wanting to hold girls' hands, wanting the girlfriend and all of that kind of stuff, and to be embarrassed like that. And even if the administrator didn't do it in front of the kids, the fact that he had to walk through school, go back to class, and then go home with that hair like that, no excuse.
We have tried multiple times to try to sit down and talk to the mother of that Barry Miller Junior High School student. The mother ended up changing her mind about going on camera, but she had this to say by email. Angela Washington shared this photo of her 13-year-old son Jules's head. If you look closely, you can see where she says a black permanent marker was used to shade in the carved design in his head. KPRC2 has a copy of the statement that says the student's haircut was against the dress code. Quote, hair must be neat, clean, and groomed. Extreme hairstyles such as carvings are not allowed. The statement goes on to say that the campus administrator mishandled disciplinary action and that filling in the hair carving is not a practice condoned by the district. Other parents say they side with the school to a certain extent. Several parents have shared that the district had all parents sign the school's dress code at the beginning of the school year. Still, Washington claims that the coloring of her son's head had racial undertones and says the whole ordeal was humiliating for her son.
Yeah. And that's exactly where my problem lies at, right there. And my thing is this: if you want to have the whole thing where you got a dress code, and here's the reason, I hear what you saying, Easy. You saying, man, miss me with that. A haircut ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't got nothing to do with learning. That was some racist stuff. Here's my thing with that. I get the fact that there's a dress code because it can go too far. And not so much with the young men, but the young men have to be subjected to it, and it has to affect them because of what can happen with the young women. The young women can come in there with weave all the way down to their back with like Miss Mary Mack, and they have it green, or they have it purple, they have it blue, they have it pink. Point is that it can become distracting. It can be distracting in a classroom setting. I totally understand that. Just like a little girl who got on a short skirt, it can be distracting for young boys in a classroom. A teacher wearing a short skirt or wearing too much a shirt that's very revealing and has cleavage, it can be distracting. In my opinion, and the time that I spent in the classroom, having on something, wearing something that is distracting to the educational or the classroom environment is a problem. That is a problem. So I understand why you have a dress code that you have all of the parents sign, but you violate or you break the code, you send them home. You violate or you break the code, you suspend them. You violate or break the code, you can't participate in class, your parent needs to come pick you up. I get it. That's what you do. Taking a marker and coloring in their hair? No. His haircut was clean and neat. It was a very nice fade, but I understand why they don't want lines in their head, because the lines will go too far. I've seen some atrocious things put in people's head to where it is a distraction. You come to school, the kid take off their hat and they sitting in class and they got a picture of DJ Khaled in the back. They got Rick Ross over here and Drake on this side, and at the bottom and say we the best. That's too much. And our kids will do that. Putting GDN on the side of your head, kids will do that. I've seen BD, Third World. I've seen all kinds of stuff in kids' heads before. They will do it. So I understand that you don't want to get into the minutia of trying to sort out what is and what ain't. You just come up with a blanket and say this is it. One part in your head that's no longer than 5 inches, whatever, and that's it. No lines in your head, that's it. I'm sure there are people who've had some type of part of something in their head and have gotten away with it, but you don't want to put too much, and you can't get. You give a black person an inch, they take a mile. You give a black person a rope, they want to be a cowboy. That's that Eddie Murphy. That's why they have to do it that way, Easy. That's exactly why they have to do it that way. So you say, hey, no color in your hair. You wear your hair color. You can't have no abstract colors where it's purple and silver. Then over here it's green and pink. You having that kind of stuff in their head, it can be a distraction. That's all I'm saying. You come in one day and you got a girl whose hair is short. Then the next day she come in and she got box braids that's all the way down to her butt to where she's sitting on them, or she constantly slinging them over her shoulder, or she got some new Remy and it's 22 inches and all she doing is this in the class. That's distracting because that's what they do. And then 2 weeks later, because they ain't got no money to really afford it, now it's itching and they doing this. Ooh, girl, can I see your rat tail comb? That's all I'm saying. 6-point star braided in his head in high school. Now you got the BDs and the Vice Lords fighting over this dude who got this 6-point star in his head. He going back and forth with the foes every day because he got a 6-point star put in his head because all his homies said that would be cool. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I say, I get it. We can agree to disagree, but I understand why. If it was my school, I'm the type of person, I believe in saying, hey, nope. Nope. No lines in your head, no wild haircuts and the mohawks and all that kind of stuff, because I've seen what these young kids do. They go too far because they do it for attention. That's the whole purpose behind it. Oh, I'm gonna wear my hair in this huge mohawk and it's gonna have this and it's gonna have all this stuff in there. The girls take it too far. They take it too far. They do all of this stuff and put all this stuff in their head, and it's all these different colors just because they want a peacock. It's just like the old ladies at church that wear the biggest hat they can on Easter to where 3 people sitting behind them can't see because the brim and the ribbon that's hanging from it is blocking it. They just sitting up there, yes, front row because they one of the mothers, and they got this big old hat on that they wear in church. But if I come in as a young 18-year-old and I got my New York Yankees hat on, Usher's going to expect me to take it off. Disrespectful in the house of God. But that 2-foot hat ain't. I don't want to look at old mother Remy's hat for 2 hours. And if I'm at a Baptist church, it might be 4. It's the same thing. Just like when women that come to church wear short mini skirts. You got on what they call it, a super mini. The little bitty mini skirt that's like an inch or 2 below the thing. And you sitting there in the front row with the pastor. What you doing? It's a distraction. And that's what it is with kids. I can't tell you how many times I've seen little girls playing in each other's hair. And I ain't talking about little girls like 3 and 4. I'm talking about young ladies that's like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders playing in each other's hair at lunch. Playing in each other's hair in the line. Going to the bathroom. I got to fix my hair. Taking pencils and making bangs. That's what I used to do back when I was in school in the 80s. It can be a distraction. And my thing is this. You saying, why do white people get to set the rules? The standard is based on what they want. That's because it's their school. Now, if you got a black school, you can have a whole Afrocentric rule. Only Afrocentric hairstyles are allowed, all other ones are not. Absolutely. If we had our own schools, we probably wouldn't even have this issue. We wouldn't have this issue. Get your own school, black folks. Black people, get your own school. Absolutely. Because if you got your own school, I ain't got to worry about that. Got your own dress code, got your own code of conduct, you can have that. You can absolutely have that. But what you got to do, get your own school. Jewish people do it. They do. Greek people do it. They go to Greek school. Shout out to my boy Louis. They do. So it's like if we did the same thing, we would be good. We wouldn't have to worry about that. And see, when I'm talking about it, see, now there's a difference when you're talking about certain schools now. Because if you got your own school, you can have a private school that's based on your own thing, your own curriculum and everything. Or you can have like a charter school, which is still based on the rules and regulations of the school district that you're in. There's still certain guidelines that you have to go by. Yeah, so there's two different things. So you could definitely have that to where you got your own school that, hey, we do our own thing. If we all walking around in dashiki because that's the dress code, that's what it is. And ain't no school board you can go to complain. You have a board of directors at your school and that's it. Or you have the person who owns the school and that's it. Now, if you have like a charter school where you can deviate a little bit from the curriculum, you can add in certain pieces of curriculum, but you still have to maintain that state or those federal guidelines in order to get that funding for that school. You funding your own school, and that's like one of the things that Umar Johnson was trying to do with his school, why he wanted his own thing. He didn't want to have no school that was funded by the state where you got grants and you got funding from the state or from the federal government, because with that funding and with those grants, there are guidelines and rules you have to follow, and then there is scrutiny and audits that you have to submit to. Which is why I understood why he wanted his own thing, where he can teach his own thing, and that's it. My curriculum is not based on the Chicago public schools or on the Federal School Act, and it ain't based on none of that. This is my school. I run it. I decide what they learn. I can teach shooting. I can teach archery. I can teach financial planning. I can teach all of this stuff in my school, and y'all can't tell me how to do it. Y'all can't tell me what I can or can't teach. I can teach African drum making if I want to. Can't nobody stop it. I can have my school open from 8 to 8. Can't nobody stop it. I can have 2-hour lunches instead of 32-minute lunches. Can't nobody stop it. Teachers can't go to no school union or none of that stuff because it's their school. That's why private institutions cost so much. But the level and the quality of the education, it's so high. They charge more tuition so they can get the best teachers. They can get the best resources. They can get the best financing. They can get all of that stuff because the parents are paying through the teeth for it. That's it. Umar Johnson is a whole terrain joke that no comedian can make funny. My thing is this. I mean, I'm not into all of the details of what Umar is doing. I'm just saying the idea of what he is or what he was trying to do, however that works out, I get it. I get it. So if it's taking them 2 years or if it takes them 10, whatever the case may be, the idea of what he was talking about with that school, I totally get it. I support the idea. But I ain't giving none of my money because I can't see where the money going and what he doing with it. So I don't do that. But that's my point. It's like you have to realize what you're trying to do and the way you're going to do it, which will determine what you can. I mean, the type of funding is going to determine what you can and can't do. And if you don't want to be governed by the government, you can't take the government money. Don't take them government funds. Because if you do, you're subjected to that. Here's what it is. But That's it. That's all I have to say about that. I'm going to read these donations real quick, and we going to get on up out of here. I had a great show. I feel real good about this, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Click that like button. Click the subscribe button. I definitely appreciate all of you all. All right, my man, Truth Talker Teacher, sent your boy $5. He says, paying it forward for future content. Hit me up on a Wednesday. My brother. Thank you so much, man. I tell you, Doc. Then my man, let's see, who is this? For my man, let me make sure this is right. Yep, my man Tori Walker sent your boy $20. That's what's up. Thank you, sir. My man Brass Man Taker hit your boy up with $6. That's what's up. Man, I tell you, I appreciate y'all, man. Let me go ahead and see what's up on the PayPal side of the game. And we gonna get on up out of here. It's been a good night. Good night. Good night. All righty. All right, my man said, what up? This is my man Michelle Cobre, sending from the 313 to the 312, showing Midwestern love. Peace. Hit your boy with $5. Thanks, Michelle Cobre. I appreciate you, bro. And then also, I saw that you congratulated me on my engagement, so I figured I would return the favor. Sign, Counting this blah. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hit your boy with $10 on the Euro side of the game. Hey, I appreciate that, man. That is awesome. Yeah, buddy. I did congratulate him too on his young engagement, on his soon-to-be nuptials. That's what's up. Thank you so much for that, man. He hit your boy with $10 on the Euro side of the game. I'm international now, man. I'm international. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that came through, checked out the show. Click the like button if you watch it on the replay. Click the like button, click the share, and comment. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I do read them. I like them. I appreciate the interaction. I love you guys. Thank you all so much. I had a great time. Shout out to everybody that commented. Shout out to everybody that clicked the like, that hit me up on the United Guns of America side. And it did the same thing over here at the Relationship Rehab. I am Brian Redmond. And please, thank you for catching the replay, Vicky Meeks. I appreciate that. This is the Relationship Rehab. Shout out to all of you all. Peace. And I'm out. Hey, if you guys got any other questions or anything, I think I might do another gun show. I'm gonna do another show tomorrow. Anyway, don't know what to do about it right now, but if there's something about guns, I might do that. I've been meaning to do a gun show about calibers, little calibers, and all that good stuff. I might do that tomorrow. But either way, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. I love y'all. Peace, and I'm out. Thanks, Tango. I try to keep the show dope, man. Also, if you listen to this music right here, that's from my boy B City. Go to bcitybeats.com. He got a bunch of great music, great tracks. Thank you, Velo, for hitting your boy up with the track. Shout out to my man DJ Just J at the Soto Podcast. And shout out to my brother, like no other, Tommy Sotomayor. Peace to you, brother. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for keeping the Soto Nation going and for just being a positive influence on so many people.
This beat's amazing.